All right, we're on lesson 6. This is proportional and non-proportional relationships from a table. Our first example says you have been hired by your neighbors to babysit their children on Friday night. You are paid $8 per hour. Complete the table relating your pay to the number of hours you have worked. All right, so in this table, we've got hours worked and pay. The first thing we're going to do is label our X and our Y. Remember, label X first, then Y. And it says we are paid $8 per hour. When we talk about our values for unit rates and for constant proportionality, remember our formula is K equals Y divided by X. Here it tells me my unit rate is 8, so I know that K equals 8. That means if I have worked for 1 hour, I make $8. If I work for 2 hours, I am doubling my pay, so I'm multiplying by 2, or I am adding an additional $8, so $16. And I know that some of us might be able to figure out the rest of this table in our head, but we are going to stick to what we've learned based on our information. So we can also write an equation in the form of Y equals K times X, which is what we did in our last lesson. And this K can be replaced by our unit rate of 8. So Y equals 8 times X. And since I'm given the hours worked, I can plug in any value for hours to find the amount of pay. So for example, for 3, I could have Y equals 8 times 3. That gives me $24. For 4, I would do the same thing. Y equals 8 times 4, and 8 times 4 is 32. 4.5 hours, so 4.5 would be the same thing, so 8 times 4.5. So we're only increasing by half because it's only half of an hour. So 36. Y equals 8 times 5. 40. Y equals 8 times 6. 48. And lastly, 6.5 hours, so 8 times 6.5. $52. It says, based on the table above, is the pay proportional to the hours worked? How do you know? All right, so we know that this is a proportional relationship because everything is changing at a constant rate. So yes, all the unit rates are the same. Write an equation that relates the amount of pay given to the number of hours worked, which we already kind of did up here. So we're just going to take that information and put it down by that question. So equation Y equals K times X, Y equals 8 times X. And we have a follow-up question. How much would you make if you worked for 10 hours, and how do you know? Okay, so if we work for 10 hours, remember hours, if we go back up to our chart, this is why it's really helpful and important to label things first. We know that hours is our X variable, so we're going to plug in 10 for X into that equation. Y equals 8 times X. Y equals 8 times 10. So we know that if we work for 10 hours, we are going to make $80. Right, let's try another one. So we have some exercises here. First one says the table represents the relationship of the amount of snowfall in inches in 5 counties to the amount of time in hours of a recent winter storm. So I'm going to have you try this one on your own. So please pause the video, show all of your work just like we've been practicing, and then unpause to check. All right, great. So we should have started with K equals Y divided by X and then understanding our units. So we've got our snowfall in inches divided by our time in hours. We have to check all of these values unless I immediately know that they're not going to be the same. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So right there, I know this is not a proportional relationship. So no, because all the unit rates are not the same. And even if I tried the rest of these and the rest of them gave me 5, because this one here is 2, there's no possible way for the unit rates to be the same. So it cannot be a proportional relationship. If there isn't a proportional relationship, there is no constant of proportionality. There is no way to write an equation, and we can't figure out how far or how much snow would fall in 3 hours because we don't have a constant rate to go off of. Okay, next exercise. Number 2, the table shows the relationship between the cost of renting a movie to the number of days the movie is rented. Go ahead, pause the video and try this one on your own. When you're all set, please unpause the video and check your work. Great, so you should start always with k equals y divided by x, and let's get our units in here. So cost divided by the days. And we have 2 divided by 6. In your mind, be very careful. Double check in your calculator. This is not 3. It is 1 over 3, or 0.3 repeating. 3 divided by 9, also 0.3 repeating. 8 divided by 24, also 0.3 repeating. And 1 over 3 as a decimal is 0.3 repeating. So we know that yes, this is proportional because all the unit rates are the same. What is the constant of proportionality? Well, all that's asking me is what is K? K equals our unit rate, 0.3 repeating. But since this is money, I'm going to write 33 cents. Write our equation. Remember, our equation is in the form y equals k times x. I'm going to replace k with what we just found, y equals 0.33x. Determine the cost to rent a movie for 5 days. Okay, so cost is y, days is x. So y equals 0.33 times x. Y equals 0.33 times 5. So y equals $1.65. All right. Exercise 3. Table shows the relationship between the amount of candy and the total cost of the candy. Please pause the video and try this one on your own. When you're all set, please unpause and check your work. Okay, we are always starting the same exact way to figuring out what x is and what y is, and figuring out our units. Then we're showing all of our division. Now I know if you look at these in your mind, some of you might be able to say, well, I can see that all of that is 2. Well, I need to know why you know that that is 2. So please still show all of your work on the paper, all of your division to get full credit. It stinks when you know what you're doing, but you lose points just because you're not showing your work. So please show your work. All right. All of those unit rates are 2. So that means that, yes, this is a proportional relationship because all the unit rates are the same. Since all the unit rates are the same, we have a constant of proportionality, k, that equals that value of 2. We also have an equation, y equals k times x, y equals 2 times x. And it says, if you spend $24 on candy at the store, how many pounds of candy would you buy? Make sure you double check that $24 is y and pounds is x. So that means in my equation to solve, 24 should be replaced with y, and I'm solving for x. That means I have a one-step equation. So I'm going to go ahead and just divide both sides by 2 to get x all by itself. 12 equals x, so this is 12 pounds of candy you could buy. All right, that is all for this lesson. Good luck on your homework.